is an instructional video intended to help you set up your Fright in the Box from Spirit Halloween. If you don't already have Fright in the Box but want to get him, then be sure to use my Spirit Halloween affiliate link down in the description of this video, where you will help out me and the channel if you purchase it through that link, and it will come along with an exclusive discount code. First, take all of the parts out of the box. The parts should include 5 vacuform squares that make up the sides of your box, the head, a red bow tie, the crank, the main spring action mechanism, the control box, a wooden base piece, the adapter, 2 metal boxes, 4 metal poles, the crank mechanism, a baggie with screws and other small parts, and a black and white striped fabric piece. Begin by locating the metal square that has no pole in the center and set it on a flat surface. Now locate the 2 metal poles that have plastic clips in the middle of them and attach those to your metal square on the same side that is opposite from the side that has the little string dangling down. The string is going to end up being on the top of your box, and these 2 poles are going to end up being the bottom. Now you can go ahead and snap lock in the 2 other poles into the other side of the square, and I do just want to mention that it doesn't matter which way any of these poles are facing, it just doesn't change anything. Now you can grab the last metal square that has a pole running through it and attach it to those 4 poles, ensuring that the string that's hanging down from it is on the exact same side as the string on the square that you started with. They are going to both end up being on the top, so you want them in the same position. Rotate the box so that that square with the center pole now becomes the right side from your perspective. Locate the crank mechanism, and using the 3 pegs on the back of it, put it into that center pole on the right side. And now, using a small screw, actually 2 small screws, screw it in on either of the 3 corresponding holes. Just be sure to use 2 of the screws and make sure they're small compared to the other screws you have. Fully extend your main mechanism before stretching out each of the springs on either side and connecting them to those corresponding pegs, and then take that and attach it to the base using the locking pins, and make sure that the bent part of your main mechanism is facing the back of the base. There's a part on the base that is labeled the front. With the front part of the base facing the front, insert the base into the metal frame you just created and simply rest each of the poles into the notches on either side of the base. There's no screwing that needs to be done, just a little bit of stretching, and the clips on those 2 poles I mentioned earlier will just rest right in between the 2 notches. Now take your clown's head and put it onto the top of your main mechanism there using the notch that it has. You're going to want to take 2 larger screws and screw it in. There's a screw hole on the front and the back. Locate the control box, and using the Velcro strip on the bottom of it, attach it to the back of your base. Then you're going to have all sorts of wires coming from the head, coming from the crank mechanism that you're going to want to attach into the control box. Simply use the color-coded wires. Now you can go ahead and attach your adapter into the control box. With Fright in the Box, there is no easy way to locate the control box after finishing the setup, so you want to make sure that everything is situated now. You have your switch, which can be in the off position, the on position, which will turn him into the sensor mode, and a step pad or try-me option if you have a try-me compatible for this guy. You also have your volume control knob that can go up and down. You also have where you're going to plug your adapter in, a place to plug in an external speaker, and lastly, where you're going to plug in your try-me's or step pads that are compatible with this guy. Take your black and white fabric piece and open it up before going ahead and Velcro stripping it around the neck. Then you're going to have all these really long Velcro strips that clamp around each side at the top of the box. And then once you're done with all of those, you'll have one diagonal corner there that needs to be closed up as well. You can now take your bow tie and use the Velcro strips it comes with to stretch that around the neck, secure it, and fluff it up so it looks good. Locate the two plastic panels that just look completely normal, don't have a hole on them, don't have a sensor or anything, and attach those ones to the back of Fright in the Box and also the left side using the clips that just attached to two on the top and two on the bottom. They just simply grasp around the poles, just push them in. Very simple, no screws needed. Now take the panel that has a hole in the center of it and attach that to the right side in the very same way that you did the other two. It's just to make sure that the crank mechanism has a place to stick out. Now take the panel that has the IR sensor at the top of it, and before you attach this one, you're going to have to kind of undo the Velcro on your control box and plug the wire into the back of the control box before redoing the Velcro. There's just kind of no way around that, but then you can go ahead and stick that panel on the front. Take your last panel with the black piece inside along with the clips, and using those clips, attach it to the back upper pole of the frame you made. You can stick them actually right over the fabric and all, and then that will allow your top panel to rotate around when he pops up. It should look something like this. Find each of your strings, which will hopefully be located in the back corners if you follow this right. Sometimes they get stuck in clips or Velcro, so you might have to look around for them, but then you can use the little metal piece on top to stick them through each of the holes on the back of your top panel, and then use that metal piece again to make it not come back out. And finally, locate your crank piece and then stick that in to the crank mechanism on the right side of Fright in the Box. You can stick it in. There's a notch that has to go in. If you stick it in and the notch doesn't go in right away, you can turn it until that notch locks into place. And that completes your setup of Fright in the Box. Plug the adapter into an outlet, and he should retract before activating for the first time. Hope this helped you set him up. Thank you all so much for watching.